Oh,
Hey,
here we go.
Rebels. Welcome back to the Rebel Tribe After Hours, the more relaxed, more real talk side of the podcast. Tonight's one of those conversations that's less about hustling and more about exhaling, which John, honestly, we could all do that a little bit more. So I'm hanging out with Diane Manering, breath facilitator and the creator of the Big Beautiful Breath Club, which already
Yay.
sounds like something I want to be a member of. We're going to talk about breath, nervous systems, stress, and what actually happens when you slow down long enough to breathe on purpose. This is not a perfect answers conversation. We're not going to be giving you 10 quick trips to, or tips to do. This is an after hours conversation. So grab your drink, get comfy, put your jammies on if you want to, and let's just breathe a little easier together. So, what's a simple way? Let's just get right into it. What is what is the Big Beautiful Breath Club? Because I saw that on your Facebook page and I was like, what is that?
Well, we actually created it with a friend of mine up in West Fork has one of the oldest properties called the Barn, and she has turned that into a retreat. And I met her, I was taking a class at Ollie, which is free for seniors at the University of Arkansas.
Hmm.
And she was my photography teacher, and I had no idea that she also ran retreats and was real into all kinds of spiritual aspects and massage and different things like that. But about a year later, I met her because I needed a massage therapist, and her name's Diana Michelle, and she has this beautiful place, and we just connected immediately. And she knew that I was loving breath work and always talking about it. And she said, "Why don't you come teach a class?" And we had about 20 people show up. That was last July. And they all kept wanting to come back. It was on a Sunday, and it's just grown to 40 people now. We have two sessions, and we decided to give it a name. We voted on it. First, it was the BBC, the Big Beautiful Club, no, the Beautiful Breath Club. But then we changed club to community because it was more inclusive and not club sounded more like you had to be a member. I mean, you had to be initiated somehow. And so we've become a community, and we breathe a lot, we move a lot, we talk a lot, we educate a lot. And somebody said the other day it was like being in church, but better. Yeah. So that's what we do. I know a lot of people go, "Well, I know how to breathe." And I said, "Really? Really?
Yeah, that's
Okay."
that's what you think. I never understood really how much different it can be when you actually do know how to breathe. I I I started meditating not too long ago, or well, actually quite a while ago, but I started incorporating breath work because I found a couple of guides that actually bring breath work into the guided meditation sessions. And it was like
Hmm.
same thing. It's like, I know how to breathe. Well, I tell you what, my first time doing what they call it, box breathing, I thought I was gonna die.
Oh,
It's
especially on
like,
the breath hold. On the
yes,
breath holds, I bet.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's like hold your breath for 8. And I'm like, and the first time through, it's like, well, it's not hard. I can hold my breath for 8 seconds, no problem. But when you do that repeatedly, it you get dizzy.
You
It's like,
can, you can. And
okay.
there's a lot of contradictions too to certain breath works. I don't know if you know that, but we have people sign a waiver because, and I didn't know this until recently, that even glaucoma, because of the pressure in the eye, behind the eye. So now we're really careful when people come in, like if they have a pacemaker, it's not good for them to do it. If they have high blood pressure, we can adapt it. It's the breath holds, like you said. I got dizzy. It's the breath holds that we have to be really mindful about. They're very powerful,
Yes, they are.
the breath
And
hold.
now, I mean, now that I've been doing it and, I've acclimated, I guess, or my body has whatever, I can do it now. Now I use it when I'm stressed out or very upset. It's like in for 8, hold for 8, out for 8, hold for 8, in for 8. I mean, I just sit there and like, I can do that. Keeps me from hurting people.
Yeah, and there's research that's been done too that people that have a hard time meditating, if they incorporate the breath work first, it takes them into a much deeper meditation. And Cambridge, the Mayo Clinic, Stanford are all studying breath work for many, many, many different things, health wise. But meditation is one that they're really studying that it takes you deeper. Have you noticed that?
I have, like I said, I was so one day a gentleman was doing a guided meditation sort of self hypnosis session online, and I decided to hop in and watch him. And I'm like, this normally does not work for me. The hypnosis doesn't
Uh-huh.
normally work for me. So I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna go do this. And he did. He started incorporating the breath work. And then when he was all done at the end, he's like, I hope you all were able to, get something out of this and relax. And I glanced down at my watch and it registered that I had entered a deep sleep stage. And I was awake. I mean, I remember, but according to my watch, I was in deep sleep. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, really, that you can, because then you're so much more rested and have more energy. And yeah, yeah. I had
Yeah.
a guy last week. We had a veteran that showed up and that had had quite a bit of post-traumatic syndrome, but he said he had done a lot of breath work. And I talked to him for a long time before we went in to just to be mindful about that. And I couldn't tell during the sessions, it's about an hour. And we do a lot of really holotropic breath to have experiences. And he just was so calm during the whole thing, never opened his eyes. And he came up to me afterwards and he said, I totally fell asleep. First time. He said, I thought I was under for like maybe 5 minutes and it was an hour and 15 minutes. That you can get your body in that state. I mean, it's what I guess I didn't realize how easily the breath can be manipulated.
It's pretty, I don't know. I'm so grateful that I discovered it because I've always had insomnia, and I think that led the way to I did some work with another friend of mine who was I told her for that I haven't been able to sleep for years. But, if I got any time that I got like a 50 sleep score, I was like, oh, I've had a good night. And she's like, no,
Oh,
that's not
see,
enough. Okay, that's not enough. So she's like, I can help you sleep. I can hypnotize you. And I was like, I can't. I cannot relax enough. But I'd already been doing the breath work and everything, and so
mhm.
she did. In fact, it's on my YouTube channel. You can watch me because she's like, it was within minutes. I'm just sitting there, and the next thing it's like, and I've
So
been
it's,
sleeping like a baby ever since.
so her hypnotizing you is on your YouTube channel.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, I'll tune into that. Yeah, I know.
But I don't
It's
think she would have been able to if it hadn't have been that I was already able to relax myself enough through the breath work that I was open to the idea. Because I think if she'd have done it before then, I don't think she could have. It's, the
so
breath work
you
made all
do
the difference.
do you use the box breath to help you sleep? Is that what you're saying? Or
Now
do you do the two?
I haven't had to do anything now to help me sleep. I don't know since whatever she did to me. I should go back and watch the video. I don't know what she did to me. She might have done something. Who knows? I've never actually watched it. I should go back and watch it. But yeah, whatever she did during that whole session, I don't.
Hmm.
I very rarely. There's a couple nights sometimes when it's like okay, and I blame that on unfortunately on my military career because I worked some really weird rotating shifts. So I think that just screwed up my inner body clock so much that
Hmm.
every once in a while it
Most,
goes, what are you trying to do here? So,
yeah, most
yep.
likely. Yeah.
But for the most
Well, the
part,
next.
yeah, I have a routine that I do at night. I mean, I just, like because she suggested that she's like, you need something that says, okay, bedtime, so your body winds down. So I do have that where
Hmm.
and then yeah, I don't usually have a problem. And if I am stressed out for some reason, then yes, I do the box breathing because the box breathing, it relaxes me. It just helps. So sometimes if you see
Yeah.
me out and I'm really stressed out, and you can actually see me counting to myself because I'm like, out for eight, in for eight,
Yeah,
hold for eight, out.
that's great. So you get a lot of sleep now, is what you're saying after
Oh,
the hypnosis.
I do. But,
Is
and
she
like I said,
local? Is the hypnotherapist local? I wonder if this is the one. Diana's having had one come up last weekend. I wasn't there. I didn't get to go, but I think it's a friend of Doug's who you had on your show that does
if,
hypnosis.
yeah,
Wonder if
she's
that-
not local. She is a friend of Doug's, but she's not local. She's in, I want to say, North Carolina, South Carolina,
Oh, okay.
some some place up there. But yeah, it amazed me too that we could do it over the internet. That always amazed me. It's like, how are we doing this over the internet?
Oh,
But it
that's
works.
awesome. Yeah,
So,
yeah. My dad was
so
a doctor and he practiced hypnosis back in the 50s on my sister and I. So I'm a big believer in hypnosis also.
tell me about this thing at the barn because I've heard of the barn. I have not yet been down there. Douglas keeps telling me I need to go and check it out, but I live all the way out almost to Pea Ridge and Avoca, and
Oh,
it's all the way down there in West Fork. So
how how far a drive is that then from your place?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Let's find out. Do you have Google?
I do have Google. Doesn't everybody have Google? Don't we all have Google?
We do, yeah.
How
I'm not real
far?
sure.
Oh,
Okay.
Pea Ridge, Arkansas. It's just funny though, because when I first moved out here, I was working for the Girl Scouts. So I was their adult development person. And the volunteers up here in Rogers Bentonville area hated driving to Fayetteville to the council office for training. And I was always like, it's not that far, ladies. You're not going to die. It's just, you're just driving down here to Fayetteville. You'll live. I am not coming all the way up there just to do training just for you. Come down here. And now that I have to drive down there for this, like, oh man, do I have to go all the way to Fayetteville?
And
I don't want to.
West Fork is 22 minutes from where I live in Fayetteville.
It is 45 minutes.
Okay. Well, here's the beauty about the place. It's also a kind of like a bed and breakfast. That's what she's developing it into. I think she has 5 or 6 bedrooms. A lot of people come and stay afterwards. We're doing 2 sessions now. We go from 10 to noon, and that just started last month. And then we take a break for lunch. She always has amazing food out for everybody. She loves Diana, the owner. She is she just loves to serve people and so many aspects. She's just very loving and open, and you can stay if you want. And then we have another session from 10 to 4. A lot of people stayed for both last time, and she has yoga, she has sound healing. She's bringing in a wonderful healer from Puerto Rico that does somatic healing, body work. And
Mhm.
I took his class for 2 nights, and all of her people that she brings in are quality. They really are. And she always tries to have something booked every Saturday and every Sunday. She does solstice events. She has an amazing partner that is a sound healer that you will not believe the work that he does. And he and I've teamed up. He asked me if he could do the sound and I would do the breath work. And you combine those things and then you add the movement along with it. And it's just supercharged. And I'm just one of the people that's been gifted the time to come up there. I'm just totally grateful. I didn't think at 79 I would be doing this. I offered in the beginning just to come and do what I do, an energy exchange,
Mhm.
show them what my routine was, and then it just took off. It's all pretty organic up there. Most of them are vegan, so you'll see a lot of vegan food laid out, nourishing food. A lot of great conversations happen in between. And I've met some beautiful, beautiful people. Well, Doug was one of them. And his friend, I think his friend Gary, I don't know if you've met him, but every time we have a class, I meet new people. And then they bring their friends. And then one of our regulars brought his son, 15 years old last time. He's in a private school, and he actually got, I always ask a question, and whoever answers it about something that we talked about gets a Mark McGee heart. I don't know if you know who Mark McGee is, but he makes these beautiful wooden hearts. He's out of Ozark, Arkansas. And he got the heart, the 15-year-old did. And he came up to me afterwards and he said, I've got to get you in my school. That would be my dream if I could get this in with the kids and actually do a study. If we could help
Mhm.
increase their concentration, their
Oh, yeah.
scores on and I know, right? I'd also like to get in the VA too. Um, I don't know, you'd think coming from a medical family, everybody in my family was either a psychiatrist, a medical doctor, or a nurse. And I always resisted all the medications and everything. I was a real thorn in my dad's side. I really was. And we got in a really big fight over birth control pills one time. You know, but
Say no more. My
I know.
viewpoint on organi or on mainstream medicine is well known. There's a place for it, but
Yes, there is.
there's a little more. It's a little more. Yeah, we count on it a little more than we need to. And if you guys listening don't believe that breath work makes a difference, you heard her. She's 79, people. Okay, I don't need to say anything else.
Just had my
Yeah,
birthday
yeah.
yesterday.
Don't need to say anything else. Okay, there you go.
Hey,
Breath work
thank you. Thank you.
works.
It
So what?
does. And I was so surprised at there's two breath people that I follow all the time, and they're professionals. Is Nestor and a guy from Ireland, and I never can say his name, but they've done a lot of studies about mouth breathing. I think you and I talked about this over coffee. Mouth breathing is okay during breath work because that's how you get the carbon dioxide and the oxygen levels to give you that expanded awareness. But in everyday life, if people knew, I'm really watching people now of how many people breathe through their mouths, and it is really harming our health. And plus, it changes the whole structure of your face and your
Hmm,
jaw. It's
that I
it's
didn't.
interesting.
That I
Yeah.
didn't know. I
Do
have
you know?
noticed though that doing. I've always had problems because I have allergies bad, and I'm not taking the allergy medicine. Sorry, but I'm not taking them. And I have a deviated septum, which so I've always had a little bit of problem breathing through my nose. But since I've been doing the breath work, it's easier. I don't breathe through my mouth like I used to. So
Do you do the alternate nose breathing like the yogis do? We do. Have you ever tried that?
I have not.
You want to do it real quick?
Sure, why not?
And if it bothers you, let me know. Well,
Okay,
let's start with our left thumb and put it on our left nostril like
okay,
this. And I want you just to breathe real deep through your right nostril. Okay,
okay.
just be real deep. Hold it at the top. Switch your fingers to the other side and blow out. Then breathe in through that nostril. Hold it, switch, and blow out. So you just keep all, did you have trouble on one side or the other breathing in?
A little bit, but like I said, I've got
Was it
that
the
funky.
deviated?
Yeah.
Okay. You might try that. There's a whole bunch of video. I love YouTube. YouTube has some of the most wonderful educators on breath work. And I get up every morning and I just pick one and watch it. And I'm just amazed at what is out there for us to learn. But that's an old yoga pranayama where they breathe it's called alternate nose breathing. And there's a reason for it.
Cool.
It might help you clear up that deviated septum. You might try it. Get back with me.
I will, because no one's ever told me about that. So I will give that
Well,
a
here's
whirl. I
another
don't
one.
watch. Okay.
Humming. Humming is huge right now. Even if you're driving in your car or you're at a stoplight, It releases nitric oxide in our nostrils, which is responsible for it's an antiviral and an antibacterial. Anytime you feel like you're coming up with a sinus issue, my allergies used to be really, really bad until I started this, but just taking that really deep breath through your nose and humming out as long as you can. So let's do that together. Let's breathe real deep and we're going to hum. Mm.
Yeah, I've done that. I hum anyway all the time. So
Good, good. And if you put your hands over your ears,
uh
it drives it even further into the sinus cavities. And just do that even for 5 minutes a day if you can do that. Hum anytime. I hum in the grocery store. I mean, I hum everywhere now. And especially with like the little things going around us, and everybody's wearing their mask and everything. If you feel a little scratchy throat coming on, you feel like a little headache coming on, just hum and get back with me on that one too.
well, that might be why I'm hardly ever sick because I love music. So if I'm home alone, especially, I've got the music on and I'm humming to the music while I'm going about my day. So
Good,
who knew that was
good.
therapeutic?
Yeah, well, you probably don't get sick very often.
I don't. That's why I said that's, and I've never understood why. I mean, I hardly ever, I can't remember the last time I had a cold or the flu or any of that stuff. So it's like, and yeah, I mean, when COVID was going around,
Hmm.
I was swimming through it basically because everybody around me had it and I was fine. But so who knew?
That's great. Yeah.
I
Well,
hummed.
there's a lot of studies on it actually. You can pull it. I mean, a lot of people need the data, they need the science. Oh, show me the science. And truly, you can go in. When a friend of mine had to go to the Mayo a couple of weeks ago, and they weren't able to find hardly anything. And I called to see if they had breath work, and they said, yes, we do. And I said, well, how does somebody get into that program? And they said their doctor can recommend it. We're doing all kinds of research, the health benefits, not only psychologically, but physically. And so your body, because you're so intuitive, I believe, your body intuitively knew for you to hum. And if you take it, here's just a tip. A lot of times when you hum, you're up here mostly, but you can also take it down into your throat. And I have a lot of people that are musicians and they're learning how to do the humming down into their vocal cords. And I'm getting a lot of feedback that it's strengthening their projection, their voice.
Mhm. Oh,
Yeah. And it helps
cool.
with blood pressure. It helps with oxygen, building up the oxygen supply in your blood system and how well you can tolerate carbon dioxide and all this stuff. I just think it's one of the miracles of 2026.
So why isn't it more well known? I mean, it's like so many of my other guests that have been on my show is their stuff works. I mean, and I demonstrated. That's why I said when you said let's try this, I was like, absolutely. I demonstrate how it works all the time when it's something's a little bit out there, and I show you how well it works. And it's still just kind of people just kind of look at it and go, yeah, that's a little too much woo for me.
Woo,
And I
woo,
don't,
woo, woo.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, if anything, me, I'm not quite as old as you. But I'm getting up there and I'm I'm healthy. I don't take any medication. I take nothing. Half the time I don't even remember to take my vitamins. Okay. And I'm never sick. I mean, I'm never sick, knocking on wood, because tomorrow I'll have to come down with a bad cold or something now. But it's like this stuff works. Why don't we talk about it more?
That's a good question. My dad was, I told you my dad was a doctor. He hummed a lot. And he never talked to me about the benefits. I think that science is just now catching up with it. There's a breath instructor called Nirek Niraji. I can't say his name really well, but he cured himself of a debilitating, life-threatening disease, and he was a pharmacist, and he went to college in Cambridge. And so they really wanted to take all of his intestines and the surgery that he was going to have to go through. He could die on the table. And he was from India And one of his old teachers said, "Why do you not practice our tradition, our yogic tradition? Why aren't you doing the breath work?" And he just was scared of dying, so he started trying it. So now he's one of the world's number one teachers of breath work. Cambridge is studying him. They're actually doing brain scans showing the difference that happens, uh, not only through meditation, but through the breath work. So science is just now catching up with spirituality. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think
Maybe it took
so.
that long.
Maybe, I
Yeah,
don't know.
but
I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe.
the yogis, but a lot of people think they're woo-woo. So I don't really know. That's a great question. When you find out, will you call me?
If I ever find out, all I know is I'm a cancer survivor, and that is one of those, that is one of those times when definitely I was all in on the mainstream medical because I was not going to hum my way to cure, humming was not going to cure my cancer. It was there, it was spreading. I had to do what I had to do, and I got that. But that was when I really started investigating alternate forms of ways to just keep myself healthier. And I've been finding all this stuff, and it's like, it works. I used EFT to cure my tapping. Everybody know what tapping is?
Oh yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
facilitator of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I used it to
We
cure
do
my
a lot of
migraines.
tapping.
I had migraines from the time I was like 14 years old up until, well, let's see, when did we do the tapping videos on my site too? So maybe 2 years ago we did the
Hmm.
tapping video. So yeah, I had migraines bad from the time I was like 14 until about 2 years ago. And then somebody introduced me to tapping and we recorded the video and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I was same way like all the others. I'm like, yeah, okay. How is this going to cure my headache? I don't know, but it does. Okay.
It does. It
It absolutely
does.
does.
Hmm. Well,
So I,
somebody asked me the other day, they said, you're into all of this stuff. If you did get diagnosed with cancer, what would you do? And I said, I'd probably, a great teacher thousands of years ago said it's done unto you as you believe. And I said, I come from a strong Western medical background with my family for most of my life up until I got and went away to college. And then I started studying more of the Eastern. So I probably embrace both, you know, and that's what you did. You chose something to put your belief behind, and it worked. And they're now looking at that cancer cells do not thrive and do not, I guess the word is thrive, in an oxygenated system. So this is something they're studying right now. Is in you can totally oxygenate through the breath work your entire every atom, cell, molecule in your body and flood it with oxygen. What will that do? Will this be the new frontier? I don't know. I'm hopeful. But like I said, if I got diagnosed with cancer, I would do both. I
yeah,
would throw the whole arsenal at it.
exactly. That's why I'm always, whenever I have one of my healing guests on, I always make sure I tell people that there is a place for mainstream. But I am not anti-doctor. I'm not.
Oh, me either.
I'm just anti-overuse of doctors, which unfortunately that's a thing. You can turn on the TV and we have pills for everything. Okay.
Oh, and the
That's,
side effects, my goodness. All the side effects that they list when you're watching the ads.
yeah,
That's enough to that's enough to get you. Yeah.
I know. So how did the big, beautiful breath thing, how did that get started? I mean, that's,
Well, like I said, she invited me. She has this thing called an energy exchange that she does once a month,
uh-huh.
and it's usually on a Saturday, and she always needs somebody to come up. She usually has three or four people. She said, "We've never done breath work. Would you come up and do an hour of breath work?" And I said, "Gosh, I've never run a group, or I've done some privates because I'm also an energy worker and I incorporate breath work in my work and when I'm working with people." But she had let's see, she had a Lomi Lomi massage therapist, she had me, she had a hypnotherapist, and then she had one other, and that's every month she does this. Well, I guess the breath work really interested a lot of people because they asked me to come back. And so that was in July, and then August we went from 15 people to 20 people. Fast forward, the last one we had two sessions, we had a total of 40 people. So it's becoming, people are really seeing that it's making a difference. So they just wanted it to call it a community. And they get first choice, by the way, the people that are in the community, they get first choice of a mat to a spot. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we always give them first choice because they've been with us since June. They believed in us and they helped me grow it. I had no idea that this was going to take off.
Well, I know
And
Douglas is one of your
I,
biggest fans because he keeps
oh,
telling me I need to go, and I'm like, but it's 45 minutes away.
you can, she'll let you spend the night. You can do Lomi Lomi with them all. They go until like 2 in the morning, I guess, doing Lomi Lomi. They gifted me last week because it was my first time to do the two sessions. So that was 4 hours. And they said, "Oh, we have a surprise for you before you go." And they had the table up, the massage table,
Mhm.
and four of them came in and did Lomi Lomi massage. It's Lomi Lomi is out of Hawaii, and I had that massage about 20 years ago, and it was one of the most incredible massages I'd ever had. Well, they do it up there. They
Mm.
teach it. She does all kinds of educational where you can get your hours, that you need. CEU, is it CEUs, I think. But oh my gosh, I can't even tell you, I did not want to get off the table. It was so loving. And that's another thing I think that Doug has discovered, and so many people, the people are so loving and kind, and it's just a way to step out of. I believe that social media in so many ways has hijacked our entire nervous system. And that's all that breath work does. It helps us regulate and understand that we can control our nervous system and bring us back to peace and calm. And that's what we do. And you would love it. You'd be a perfect person up there. And
Everybody's convincing me. You and Douglas both are like, you need to come, you need to come. Plus, he knows that I'm looking for a place to hold a retreat anyway, because I
oh,
know so many of you. I would love to bring you all together for like a big retreat, but
well, how many people are you talking about? She hosts retreats up there all the time.
I
She brings
I
people like you.
I don't know. I haven't. It's just an idea that's been. So I have no idea. I've never done one before, so I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
I've never done one.
she's done a lot and she's helped bring people in like you. Douglas actually is doing one. And oh, hey, next month on my March 15th, I think it's that Sunday, Doug is actually going to do an intro about his work and he's doing a seminar up there that following week, I think. I don't have that in my
Ooh,
calendar with me, but that might be a good time for you to come and talk to her about your work and what you want to do. And she's so creative. She could help you strategize and do
cool.
it.
I might, because yeah, Douglas's stuff works too. I mean, seriously, I'm using his stuff right now. I'm using his program. He sent me his books, and I'm using his program, and it's working. So
I just got his book, the Nova Flick,
the Novanetics,
Nova
yeah,
Novanet. Yeah, yeah,
yep,
yeah.
that's what I'm using, and it works like a charm. I mean,
Well, it sure did on him, didn't it?
oh, I know. I'm watching the incredible melting man in front of me, and I'm like, what the heck is he doing?
Whoa, I
Whatever it is,
know.
I want in.
Well, all of us really had the attitude that going through what everybody's going through on the planet right now, no matter where you stand, this has nothing to do with politics or anything, but there's a lot going on, and we need as many tools for our tool belt that we can do. Like I incorporate the oils. He loves the oils, and
Oh, I
people will
love
gather
oils.
around. I always bring all my oils and lay them out, and people can play with them. And we become like little kids, actually. We kind of all start giggling and, oh, smell this one. And hey, have you tried this? And you probably go away and be able to drive back just fine.
I
You'd be
love my
highly
oils.
energized.
I love my oils. I
Yeah.
love my oils.
Which one do you like? Which was your favorite?
Uh, I like rose. I love my rose oil.
Yeah. Yeah. The heart.
I
Yeah.
love my rose oil. I may run out of a couple of the others before I get around to replenishing, but I always have my rose oil on hand because I love it. And unbeknownst to me, I did not know, but an energy worker that I had on my show was like, we were talking about it, and because I was not a big believer in energy work. It's like, what is that?
Really?
And
Okay.
so she's like, can I do a reading of for you? And I said, sure, why not? She's in California, I'm over here, but sure, let's do this. So she's like, she's doing her little thing, and she goes, and she gives me a date, and she goes, does that date mean anything to you? I was like, oh, yeah, that's the date of my divorce from my first husband. She didn't even know I'd been married twice.
Hmm.
So she just plucked that date out of nowhere. And I was like, well, yeah, that's a significant date. That's the date that
Hmm.
my divorce was final. She goes, I'm sensing a lot of unforgiveness in you. I was like, well, yeah, probably. Okay. I am not going to dispute that one. And then she was talking about how I needed to use some rose oil, and I was just like, that morning I came downstairs and I opened my cupboard where I keep my oils, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm almost out of rose oil. I need to get some. So I was like, okay then,
Do
I
you
guess
do
you're
you have a
right.
good do you have a good source? I'm looking for a new source. Mine, I have been getting mine for a long time, and their prices have just skyrocketed. Do you have a
Uh,
source in Arkansas?
no, I have a friend who does doTERRA, and I get them from
Oh,
her.
okay,
Yeah,
I do Young Living, but I'm sure doTERRA's gone up too.
yeah, they all have. Yeah, and I have a
It's
friend
a
who does Young Living too, here in Arkansas actually. She
Yeah,
does, but yeah, they've
I don't
gone.
do it for a living. I just like their oils, but they have gotten very expensive. So I started in the
Oh,
80s, and rose oil was very affordable. And what do you think about how many roses had to give their life force energy to go into each bottle,
I
and
know.
don't ever run
Yeah.
out of it.
But yeah, they are a little pricey, but that's the one thing that I make sure that I always have. I can't remember to take my vitamins in the morning, but I always make sure I have my oils.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Ah,
Yeah, I used to tell my friends that were teachers that were having trouble with their kids. I said, "Can you bring a diffuser?" And I was amazed. Now in California, they'd let you do that, and I lived there for 30 years. But when I got to Arkansas, it was very regulated. All that stuff was very regulated. And I taught school in Oklahoma from 69 until 77. And I tried to incorporate meditation at that time because I was doing transcendental meditation, and I almost lost my license. They said, you can't do that. I even said, oh, but we're just pretending. We're just resting. We're just laying and resting and thinking good thoughts. And I don't know how it is now, but I still don't, I still think it's a no-no, except maybe in some of the private schools. I may be wrong.
I don't know, but that's just, I don't know. You would think that they would want to incorporate anything that would help kids focus and concentrate, and I don't know.
Well, we'll see. Let's see if they get into this private school, and we'll
Which
have
school
another
is it?
talk.
Which school? Oh,
It's
the
in
the
Faith. I can't remember the name of it. It's a private school. It's kind of like a Waldorf school. And I guess they do a lot of they're just very much into outdoor stuff. And I don't know much about it. And I'm learning now. I'll report back.
Yeah, that'd be good because, like I said, the more we can get this stuff out there. I am so excited about what Alice Walton is doing with her new medical school. It's like, oh my gosh.
Wonderful.
They're
Wonderful.
actually, yes, doctors are actually going to be taught about nutrition and food and on all the things.
Well, my
instead of
doctor
here,
in
here's your pill.
California is thinking about trying to get into her program. And I mean,
Oh,
she's already a doctor in California, but she's been following this. And she said, man, if I could just go there for a year, because she goes to Costa Rica to study plant medicine on her own dime. But she's been looking at, and she's a regular doctor. And yeah, I'll see. I would love for her to do that.
that'd be awesome. Yeah, I'm so excited. I mean, when I read that she was going to, because my granddaughter's in college right now for a pre-med something, anyway, medical field, and when I read about that, it's like, oh, you're going to learn, they're going to teach you gardening and everything else. And I sent her the information. I was like, and girl, the first 5 classes are tuition free. Okay.
Oh,
And
is that
she's,
right?
yes, the first,
Wow.
I read the first 5 classes to go through are going, she's paying their tuition. So, I mean,
Oh
that's
my
just amazing.
goodness.
I
Wow.
know. That's amazing. But she has drank the mainstream medicine Kool-Aid all the way. And she's like, this is just silly. I'm not doing this. It's like, okay, fine. Like, am
Yeah.
I too old? I'll go. Okay. I'm only 68. Can I go?
Well, you never know. You
I'll
might
go.
apply. Hey, even if you got 5 hours for free, to see what you come away with. Do you know when that's scheduled to open?
I don't. Um, yeah, I haven't heard. I need to find out though, because yeah, I've been telling everybody I know that's been talking about going to medical schools, like you need to apply to this. Number one, it's like really well-rounded medical education, number one. And number two, she's paying tuition for the first 5 classes. So if you ever wanted to go
That's,
to medical school and you thought you weren't going to go because you can't afford it, now's the time to apply.
yeah.
I mean,
She's an amazing gift to Arkansas,
that she is.
Alice Walton. I remember reading her story when all of her art that she was going to donate, and all the big museums were lobbying to get those pictures in their place, and she chose to build Crystal Bridges. And
I know.
somebody made, I guess, a really snitty comment about why would you waste it on people in Arkansas? And she said, do you remember reading that article? And she said, if I don't do it, who will? They deserve it just as much as anybody else. Something like that. And I thought, wow, this woman is phenomenal.
Yeah, I love Crystal Bridges and I love the trails up there. We go up there just to walk the trails a lot of times because I love the trails. I've actually
So
been,
you don't live too far from there.
it's about 20 minutes for
That's
me
not
to get
bad.
there. Yeah, that's not too bad. But yeah, we
Yeah,
go quite a bit because
it's
I
beautiful.
just like, I love it.
Do you do the forest walk at night with all the
Oh,
lights?
we've been to every one of those. Every year it's like, okay, what's coming this year? Because
Yeah.
they're so nice. There's just something about being out there at night with all the lights, everything that they have, and just it's so peaceful,
Well, you
calming.
gave me you kind of gave me an idea. I'm wondering if they're going to have any kind of studies on breath work for all those doctors coming through.
I don't know.
Oh, might
Maybe you
plant a
should
seed
contact
if we don't plant a seed.
maybe you should
Yeah.
contact her and go, hey,
Well, yeah, I mean,
I
if I can get all my studies that I've pulled up and documented, from the three big ones, Cambridge and Harvard and Mayo, no, Stanford's the other one. Maybe I could send those over and yeah, we'll see. You never know.
yeah, because I know there's doctors out there that are like, okay, it's just breathing. Everybody out, the people out there, it's just breathing. How big a difference can it make? If you don't have
Hmm.
enough oxygen, I'm reminded of the oxygen bar craze. Do you remember that? When people were paying to
I
go and
wanted to do one of those.
it's like, well, if
Yeah,
you would just learn to breathe properly, okay, you wouldn't need those because you'd be getting enough oxygen on your own.
that's right. They have a
And it's
beautiful a
free.
house. Yeah, I house sit a lot in Santa Fe. I've done that for 9 years for friends of mine. And they have you ever been to Santa Fe? Okay, so they have the main drag in the plaza, and they have a woman that's very intuitive, and she opened the very first oxygen bar. And so every time that I would travel, I'd go after 9 hours of driving, I'd go right to the oxygen bar, do the oxygen for the energy. And then when I would get ready to leave and drive back, I would go in and do the oxygen. And it just, I mean, she's turned it into a wonderful vegan restaurant, and people sit around and they put the oxygen in there. I mean, it's fabulous. I think somebody tried it here in Arkansas, in Fayetteville. Somebody told me somebody tried it,
I've
and
never
it
seen
did
it.
not. Does that ring a bell?
Not really. I don't remember seeing one. But then, like I said, I don't get down into Fayetteville very often because
Yeah.
I'd have to drive all the way down there. I just laugh every time I say that because I keep remembering all the times I would chastise those little volunteers for want to drive to volunteer or to Fayetteville for training, and now it's like, yeah, I don't want to drive to Fayetteville. Okay,
Oh,
if
that's
it's
and it's
not
such a
right
pretty
here,
drive though.
it's
Well,
not right here.
the
I'm not
freeway
going.
is a little congested. There's a
Oh
lot of
my
trucks on the
gosh.
freeway
I
now. Yeah.
know. I try to stay off the bypass as much as possible because it's just, I don't know. I can't believe how much everything's grown since we moved out here.
Yes,
It's just
very much.
crazy. So you heard me talk about how I use the box breathing when I'm stressed out or overwhelmed or spiraling at 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, is there other things? Is there other things you can teach people like today that would help them, give them a little taste of breath work so that they understand what it is and how it can help?
Well, I like the 278 and Dr. Andrew Weil, who a lot of people know. I always put in something that people might recognize. He likes the 278, and that can be before you go to bed or if you're starting to feel like you're anxious. And that is very simply just anxiety comes from our vagus nerve. I'm a big studier about the vagus nerve, and I think everybody needs to learn about it because it's what gets us into anxiety or fear or even in anger, and it dysregulates our system. So the 278 is a real simple one to follow. You just breathe in through your nose to the count of two. And you always breathe in through your belly first. So you would bypass the chest. You would breathe in through your nose, into your belly, and then bring it up to your ribs and your chest and hold it for the count of seven. And then you're going to let it go with a sigh for the count of eight. Let me just demonstrate it and then we can do it together. Is that okay?
Sure.
So we're going to breathe in. You can open your eyes or close your eyes wherever you feel comfortable and safe. You don't want to do this in a car. You do not want to do this in water. You want to make sure you're safe and secure on a bed or in a chair. And so you breathe in real deeply through your nose and you bring it into your belly. And that's the most important thing. A lot of people go like this. I said, do you know if you breathe through your chest or your belly? Well, let's do this first. Okay. Put one hand
Okay.
on your chest and one hand on your belly. And for people that are watching this or listening, now I want you to take a really deep breath through your nose and let it out through your mouth. Now, do you know, honestly, if your hand that's on your belly went first or last?
It went first because I've learned to how to control that. I didn't think you could. That was always like, what? But one of the people that I listen to when I'm doing my meditations, he talks about learning to control your breath and where you could direct it. I was like, no, you can't. Well, yes, you can.
Yes, you can. And it's one of the very few atomic process in our body that we can control, that we have control over. And so let's do that. Let's still keep our one hand on our belly and one hand on our chest.
Okay.
And let's put our shoulders down and sit up straight. And we're going to breathe in through our belly, through the nose, into the belly, up into the chest. Hold it. One, two, and let it out to the count of eight. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Breathe into the count of four, two, three, four. Hold for two. One, two. Let it out for You know what? I totally messed up. Start over. It's a 278. Okay. All right, Diane. Okay. Podcast. All right.
Good.
Put one on the belly and one on the chest. So breathe
Okay.
in real heavy through the nose. One, two. Hold for the count of seven, six, three. Let it out for the count of eight. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. And the exhale is the most important. It is so important that you get that stale air out. And I always tell people when you're getting ready to do breath work, on that exhale, if you make the sound of like a S sound,
Hmm.
it gets all the stale air out of your lungs. And so it's called the 278. If anybody wants, it's all over YouTube. Many different beneficial factors. The Andrew Weil, if somebody needs a doctor to tell them, it's wonderful. So it's a 278. And something else that you do a lot of that our group does is laughing. So not only humming, but laughing. And you will catch in my breath work the hour, I'll say, oh, I feel that real dramatic Hollywood laugh coming on. And we just let it go. We rip. It's like, you know, and the whole room is laughing. And then we start breathing again. And what the laughter does is it relaxes the diaphragm, which allows us to bring more oxygen into our lungs because the lungs are passive. We have to help them. And in the spiritual sense of the universe, our lungs hold grief and sadness. And you will see a lot of people in the group that will start making toning sounds, crying sounds, laughing sounds. And it's just our body through the breath work. You don't even really need to know what's going on. You don't need to diagnose it. You don't need to think about it. But if you've ever read the book, The Body Holds the Score, it's a fabulous somatic book showing that our bodies hold trauma that we don't even know that it holds. And through the breath work and through laughing and through movement, a static dance, any kind of movement that we can do for our fascia and for our lymph system, we release trauma. We just release it. We let it go, anything that doesn't serve us. And then we breathe in the life force energy, which is a gift of life. And we have this circular breath that we do. And there's about eight different kinds. And each week I try and introduce a new one because each person's different. And what I found is that if I can give them a taste of what's out there, they will find one that they love and they'll stick with it on their own. They won't need me or another teacher. But I don't know. I mean, I just think, breath is the first thing that we come in and do when we're born, and it's the last thing we do when we leave. And it's there. It was given to us for a reason.
I agree.
So let's value it. Let's study it. Let's do it and laugh. I love that about you. I meant to tell you that. I heard you when you interviewed Doug that you laughed, and I love that
Oh, Douglas makes me
because,
laugh all the time.
and you've got a great laugh. You've got that tone. Yeah. So you'll probably laugh a lot in the class. I invite you too. I think you'd be a good addition.
I need to bring my husband. I really do. He doesn't believe in any of this, but he's got some health issues, and I know this would help him, but
Can he get up and down onto a mat?
oh yeah.
Okay, because we have massage tables too. We have a lot of people that sit in chairs. We make it comfortable. We want that's the most important thing. If you don't feel safe, if you don't feel secure wherever you are or where you're putting your body. So we talk to each person individually to get to know them, and we put them in the most safe place that we can think of in cooperation with them. It's very loving. It really is. And a lot of people come that say, "Oh, I'm just coming because she brought me. She wants me." You know, and
Well,
and we tell them that they're always in charge. He's military, right? Both
yeah,
of weren't you're both
yeah, we both were.
military?
Yeah.
I remember you telling me that. We always say you're in charge. I'm not in charge. You're in charge. I'm a facilitator. I'm a teacher. I'm an educator. I'm a guide. And we watch very carefully. If we see somebody is struggling, we have a lot of tears, we have a lot of laughter, we have a huge breakthroughs. And people will go, well, I don't know what that was all about. Well, who cares? You know, do you feel better now? Like 72 hours later, report back to me because that work goes forward and come back and some of the things that people are reporting back to us, you know, that years and years and years of being angry or unforgiving or the lower energy fields that we love to swim in sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
rather than coming up to love and peace and joy and kindness. That's what we strive through the breath work to achieve. And so you constantly will hear me as a coach, you know, you've got this, you're doing great, take deeper breaths, don't forget the belly, and just gentle reminders that, you know, a stewardess or a pilot on a plane would do for your trip to make it more, because it is a trip, by the way. Some people, you know, it releases the same chemicals in your brain as mushrooms and acid. So some people actually have this huge expansion of their consciousness. They'll see colors. So now, and everybody's different. You know, I don't want anybody to go, well, I didn't see any colors. We don't compete with each other. We support each other. There's no competition. It's just people want to feel better. They want to feel connected. We do it in a group because I think people are starving for connection.
I'll give you that. Can't argue with that. How
You
did
hear
that
that?
happen? How did that happen? That always amazes me. I remember, I remember when I was working for the Girl Scouts, I would hold these big training events out at the camp. And the actual training was like one day, Saturday, but I would be out there all weekend and I would invite any of the volunteers that wanted to come out and spend the weekend out at camp with, and it was always the older women, the older volunteers would show up Friday night and we, build the campfire and we'd talk and we'd sing and we do, and then the younger volunteers would show up Saturday morning, like, we're here to get our training done. And then they would leave and then we'd all stay and spend another night out, out in the meadow with the campfire going and everything. And it always just kind of, I don't know, it just, where did those times were some of the best times. The women that stayed for the entire weekend, we grew so close and created such bonds that when my mom died, those ladies are the ones that showed up because they knew I was coming home. I was bringing my dad back with me because, I had to. And I mean,
Yeah.
they're the ladies that showed up and took care of everything while I was
Mhm.
dealing with the death of my mom and bringing my dad out here. They helped me keep everything running. They took over all the meetings I had to go to and everything. As working for the Girl Scouts, they ran those meetings for me. They helped me get ready for him to move out here. And it was just,
Beautiful.
what happened to that? I don't know. I miss that.
I think technology had a lot to do with it. It took us outside of ourselves and our groups and into that little device that fits in our pocket. But I think the big thing, honestly, if you think about it, was COVID. It disconnected us so unorganically. I got locked down in Oregon, house sitting at a house for 2 years, away from my family, away from my friends. I was watching TV, which was the worst thing I could have done because the I don't know if you remember, but the pictures of what was happening to people, their lungs and everything, I found myself by myself going right into fear and thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I don't know. You know, if my dad was here, he had passed away. What would my dad do? What would my mom do? The medical side. And a video came over for a 5-day training in breath work with one of the guys that I'd done a breath work session for at one of my retreats I went to out in the country. And I signed up for it and life changing. He did a static breath work. His name is Scott Swank. To this day, I thank him. But I did that every single day because I would get so depressed being disconnected from people. I mean, I had the phone and I had my Facebook and all of that, but it was human touch. It was human touch. And so for me, I think breath work got me through those 2 years. It really did. But the minute I really got to be with somebody and they touched my arm, I can remember how that felt, because they said, "Oh, you don't hug anybody." Remember, you couldn't go to the hospital and see your loved ones? I don't know when your dad died. Was it during COVID?
No, it was after.
After?
Oh no, actually, it was
Okay.
way before. I'm thinking it was way before. Sorry, yeah, he died way before COVID.
Yeah.
So, but I had
I don't
several
know the
friends. I had friends that lost spouses during that time, and yeah, they couldn't go see them. They couldn't go say goodbye. I mean, I can't
How
imagine.
awful is that? That's awful. That should never happen. I helped my mom transition. I did hospice Reiki with her and watched her take her last breath, and it was and was be able to be with her the entire time and help her move through that. And it was the most sacred, beautiful opportunity that I'd ever had in my life. Literally, when you see things like that, truly there is a spiritual sense in the universe. And we just because we can't see it, sometimes we deny that, and people go, "Oh, you're so woo woo." You're so woo woo. Who started that word? But I think
I
that's a
don't know,
great
but it's my
question.
favorite word now because it's like I am very much a person of structure and systems, and that's who I am. I'm science through and through. But suddenly,
Hmm.
like I said, I went to a conference that had nothing to do with any of this. It was like a motivational business conference, and I went there and I met the woman who cured my insomnia and my migraines, and I met her there. And we just started talking to each other, and she did. I got a migraine during the conference, and I was so angry because it's like, okay, I paid good money for this, and now I have a migraine, and I'm going to spend the entire conference locked in my hotel room with, the shades drawn and the lights off, and I'm going to miss the whole thing. And she's like, no, no, no. She's like, I can fix you. I was like, yeah, okay. People have been trying for since I was 14 to fix this, and it doesn't work. I know it works. I'll see you all, when hopefully it'll be over soon enough that I can drive back home. And she's like, no, 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 I can fix you. I said, okay, okay, give it your best shot. I'm willing. I am willing to try anything because I don't want to miss this conference. So she did something. She did some kind of something to my neck and my head. I was like, oh my gosh, it's gone. Okay.
Hmm.
So I just kept in touch with her, and she just started teaching me things. She, like I said, she fixed my insomnia. She introduced me to tapping. She introduced me to a lot of other things. And through her, I've just met more and more healers, I guess is the only word I can come up with. But it's just funny because she's like, I've noticed that more and more of your guests are what you would call woo woo. And I said, yes, they are. I said, I seem to be bumping into a lot of them lately. And she's like, well, she says, when the student is ready, the
The
teachers
teacher will
appear.
be there. Yeah, yeah.
I said, well,
Love that. Love that. Yeah.
hmm, so
Oof.
I don't know
Whoa.
where that word came from, but yeah,
I don't either. I've been called woo woo forever, or that weird person.
so
Yeah.
hey, whatever works. I don't care. Whatever works. If you want to pop down 15 pills a day, knock yourself out. I don't want to. I can't remember to take them anyway. So I have to find other things that will work. Because if I have to count on pills to stay alive, it won't work because I never remember to take them. So
There, there you go. But you did do it through your cancer though, and you did really well.
I did
Good
do
for
that.
you.
I got through that.
Yeah.
That was that was my beginning of my whole journey on eating real food and
Mm-hmm.
drinking water instead of soda.
Yeah. Yeah. If I could get everybody off of just Diet Cokes or Diet Pepsi, I'd be happy.
That
And
used to
they would
be,
be happier. You know?
yes,
Don't
because
get
I
me
was
started on that
addicted.
one. Yeah.
We need to do a whole thing on that one because I was addicted. I kid you not, I was addicted. I was
I
addicted to
know
Diet Coke, and
a lot of people
coming
are.
coming off of the Diet Coke, almost it was horrible. But I mean, that would be the first thing. That was my first thing in the morning. I would reach for a candy
Hmm.
bar and a Diet Coke was my breakfast every morning.
Oh my goodness, you've come a long way.
I know.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Well, I'm sorry about your husband. A lot of times, that people that get on this path, that happens that their spouse doesn't come along or doesn't says they don't believe. But maybe
He's
just a
doing
little
much better.
taste, a little. I think if they know that they don't have to stay in the room, I mean, if it's not for them, we have a beautiful kitchen that they can go out into and
He's doing much better. He eats vegetables now.
oh, yay.
He actually
What
eats
is he?
salad.
Wow.
So,
Good, good,
which
good.
if you knew
And
him
good
is a
for
big
you.
deal.
And good for you for bringing different people to offer up tools
Hey, I'm a
for this
big believer
journey.
in everybody needs all the help they can get. So if there's something out there that might help people, and like I said, I am not going to say something doesn't work. I'm willing to listen to anybody. Now there's some stuff out there that I'm looking at is going, yeah, okay, that is just crazy, and we're not talking. No, okay,
Hmm.
absolutely not. But breathing, I mean, the energy, the energy worker that came on. I'm sorry, but I truly believe that you give off that. I mean, she looked right at me and said, "You have a lot of unforgiveness in your life," and I'm like, what is it radiating out there in the world? It is all that
Yeah,
negative.
yeah.
It was. She was able to pick up on it. Clear the heck out in California. She was able to pick up on it. So
Well,
yeah,
in the field of energy, there's no space and time. And we learned that in Reiki and studying Reiki. People go, well, what do you mean you can do it long distance? Well, there's no, we just connect energetically. There's no distance that stops that. It's all intent. And a lot of the breath work is that way too. I don't try and get, just so you'll know, I don't get into a lot of education. I give people handouts about the books that I've read and the YouTubes that I like and the teachers that I follow, and I let other people, find their way on that. But like I said, for YouTube right now, there's so much junk on TikTok and stuff. I guess because of the things I've started watching in the morning now, it just kind of brings all of it up, and I don't even have to surf through that anymore. It'll bring up all my favorite breath people, stuff that wanting to know more about, like this nitric oxide and the humming. I was very interested in the science part of it, not the woo-woo part of it. And I wanted to see where people were coming. So it's like going back to school, actually. It's free. And that's what I would leave for you to know that there's a whole world out there on YouTube.
oh, I know. And yeah, and
A lot of
that
junk
actually
too.
makes sense. That actually makes sense though, because I've always wondered why is it that, like I said, I'm the one that doesn't ever get sick. I don't catch colds very often. I have the allergies in the summer somewhat, but I don't get colds. I don't get the flu. I can't remember the last time I've had the flu. And I don't take I don't go down and get the flu shot. So it's like, and I'll be around people who are just hacking and coughing and whatever all the time. It's like, why am I not getting this? Do I have like a cast iron immune system or what? And then when you explained the humming, it's like, well, that actually makes sense because yeah, I'll turn the radio on in the morning and I'll just be going
Hmm.
about my day and I'm humming to the music. And it's
Yeah.
like, that makes
Hey,
sense.
they may start studying you at the Alice Walton school or is it a school? It's going to be a school, right?
It's a medical school. Yeah, it's
Medical
gonna
school.
and a health center. Yeah, it's a medical school and a health center. So I'm
Oh, you
excited
mean
about it.
we can go in there and get a doctor and go in there and they can.
I know that's kind of my understanding. It's a holistic health center and medical school.
I
And
love it.
I have been waiting for a good holistic healer to come to this area because there aren't any.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I've been kind of waiting. So I've been kind of watching and seeing what's going on with it because I would love to have a good holistic healer in the area that I felt comfortable with.
Mhm.
right now there aren't any. And
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's going to be great. Let me ask you a question. Do you know what blood type you are?
yes,
Are you O?
no,
Hmm?
no,
You're not O.
uh-uh.
Okay. I would have guessed that you were O, of either O negative or O positive, just because they've done a lot of research that they tend not to get as sick as other people. So what are you?
Ooh. Oh, I'm A positive,
You're A. Yeah.
which I don't know. I mean, I've read that. I've never actually dived into that. I've read that there's a lot of different things that they can tell about you based on your blood type, and I've never really looked into it, but yeah, A positive.
Okay.
That's just my little type A personality.
Well, there you go. You got that. And you're laughing. You're, I don't know. I mean, laughter is just huge, huge, because it releases all those feel good endorphins in our body. And you think about it, that could, the humming and the laughing and your good attitude and
Yeah, that's
all that.
maybe. I don't know. Maybe. And my little furry critters down here that are finally sleeping peacefully. I keep looking back,
Oh,
see what they're doing so they behave.
well, they give you lots of love, don't they?
Yes, they do. I love my babies. I love my babies. I don't know what I would do without them, but I think that makes a difference because I live out here in the dirt road. So, this morning I was watching, they were outside and I've never seen this happen ever, ever. Because most times deer are, they don't like dogs. This the Chihuahuas and the Australian Shepherd were outside, and this deer walked right up to the fence behind my house, and the Chihuahuas were both just standing, and they just kind of like could see them, could see their eyes meet. I swear, you could just see their eyes meet. And they just stood there
Hmm.
for a little bit, just watching each other. And the deer, you could tell the deer wasn't like terrified or anything, and the dogs weren't barking and carrying on like crazy things. They just stood there for a little bit, just looking at each other. And then I didn't go all the way out because I didn't want to spook them. I didn't want them to take off. I was like, man, I wish I had my camera though, because this would be
Oh, yeah.
cool.
Oh,
but but
that'd be great.
but that's where I live, and I think that makes a difference too, because I can sit on my porch, and in the summertime I'll sit on my porch and I hang the hummingbird feeders out, and they come in like swarms to my feeders,
Oh, that's great. I love
and
hummingbirds. Love them.
and I
You
laugh because
wonder
I
how
think,
many breaths they take a minute, you know. Well, think about all the energy with their eye. That'd be interesting to study their breathing patterns.
but yeah, so I think all that makes a difference because I just sit out here and I don't know, and I kind of just, they're all welcome. They're welcome in my yard. I don't put down any kind of pesticides or chemicals, and I don't.
Hmm.
Everything's welcome. I don't use. I remember some guy just having a fit one year because I had a hornworm on my pepper plant, and I took a picture of it and I posted it in a garden group, and he's like, "Kill it!" I said, "I'm not killing it. It's one little hornworm," and I had my little grandson out here. He was like 4 at the time. And he was just amazed because he watched it and we watched it drop off the pepper plant and burrow down into the soil. And we tried like heck to catch it when it came out because they're a beautiful moth.
Yeah,
They're sphinx moths. But he was just tripping out. He's like, "You need to kill it. It'll destroy your plant." Well, it did destroy my plant. In fact, I got better peppers after it was done than I had before. So I'm
really?
like,
Okay.
yes. So it's like, I don't, why would you kill it? Now, yes, if I had a horde of them and they were eating all of my peppers, I would have to do something. But it was one little worm. And it makes a beautiful sphinx moth, which is a pollinator, which we don't have enough of. So I don't know.
So do you
That's
have a
just me.
garden?
I'm weird.
Uh, well, welcome to my tribe, and you're now we have a new tribe. So are you a gardener? Do you have
Yes.
a pretty
Yes.
nice sized garden?
Yes, I just started my own little composting thing this year. I've never done composting before, but I decided this was the year, so I've been composting all winter in my little compost bin, and it's like, well, this is This is cool.
So you've
So
got your hands and your feet in the dirt, and lots of studies coming out on that right now about how healthy. My partner is a farmer, a gardener, and he hardly ever gets sick. All those little microorganisms, I guess, keep you healthy and
and,
your animals
and real food. Okay.
and real food, yeah.
Real
And
food
getting
that you
off
know.
that aspartame, good for you. That's a hard one to get off of. I have some friends that are severely addicted to it.
It
Oh,
was it
so,
was awful. I had
and they're
headaches
sick
for
all the time.
days. It was awful. It was awful. But I'm so glad I did. I now it just tastes nasty. I'll take a sip sometimes if we're out and there's like nothing to drink. I'll take just a sip of so and it's like, oh yeah, now I remember why I don't drink this anymore.
Oh,
Well,
it's nasty. I think it's nasty. I never liked the taste at all, but um, I don't know how much more time we have. I haven't been watching the time. I wanted to.
I don't either, but like I said, we always talk until we're done. So it sounds like maybe we're done. So, let's
I,
just
I was just going to do one thing
okay.
because the group asked me last time. They said, "What do you do every morning?" No, they wanted to know my routine. I said, "Well, the first thing I do when I wake up, and I usually get up about 4:30. I always say thank you to whoever your creator, whoever you believe in. Just say thank you, and then I do 30 breaths, and I do 10 through the nose." 10 of those. Then I do another set of 10, one through the nose and out through the mouth. Another set of, so that's 20. And then my last are all through the mouth. And I go into the belly. I go, so it's, I don't know if you can hear me over there.
Yep, we can.
So that's 30. Then I get up and I do some shaking. Start moving my body. I start doing this. Sometimes I put on music and then sometimes, and I always splash my face with cold water because that helps the vagus nerve. Everything that I just told you helps stabilize your nervous system first thing in the morning. And if you find yourself getting anxious in the afternoon or holding your breath in traffic, just take a deep breath and let it out, make a noise, and go have a happy day. That's my advice.
Yeah, good advice. Simple stuff anybody can do.
Okay,
So
well,
yeah,
I've enjoyed this. I enjoyed our coffee. It was cut too short. We really got into it.
I know. I'm gonna actually try now. I know I'm gonna actually try to come down there on a weekend. What weekend is Douglas coming?
I don't have my calendar.
Uh,
It's the Sunday. I think it's March 15th. Maybe you could ride with him.
I was thinking that I'd like to see what he's because like I said, I'm reading his book and it seems to be helping. So I'd like to see what he's teaching.
Well, he's not teaching that weekend. He's
Oh,
got
okay.
15. He's gonna open up for me. It kind of sounds like a show, but he's gonna talk about. I think his is the following week. But yeah, ask him because I don't have my calendars over there. He's going to talk to the group and he's going to put everybody through a process.
Ah, okay.
And then we'll go into sound healing movement, and then we go into the breath work, and then we integrate at the end where we all share if we want to. Nobody, nothing's required. You're in charge.
Well,
Bring your
I'll just ask him.
curiosity.
Yeah, I'll just ask him when he's coming because yeah, we're actually
Yeah.
working on some stuff together. So I talk to him all the time. So I would love to see
Good.
what he's going to teach, and I'd really like to check out the facility because, like I said, I've been talking to well my friend that did the migraine and the insomnia work on me is we've been talking about hosting some kind of retreat forever. Like, I just feel now that I've met all these people because before it was just her and just her because I don't teach any of that. So it's like it was just her. So now that I've met
Yeah.
all these wonderful people, it's like, okay, we need to bring all these people together and do something because you've all been so helpful to me. I just want to share that. I feel so much better at 68 than I did at like 40. And so I want to share that. So we've been talking about hosting a
Yeah.
retreat somewhere. So and then Douglas suggested I go check it out. So
Yeah, I would.
it's time. Well, this has been
Yes.
fun. It's been, I mean, it's
Thank
just
you.
really just been honestly a really needed conversation because most people don't know how to breathe. You'd be surprised at how many people just really don't know how to breathe. And once you
Well,
really get into
thank
it,
you
well,
for inviting me. I appreciate it.
well,
It was
thank you for
great, and
hanging out
I
with
think
me.
that thank you. Okay, we'll meet again.
We will. And for everyone listening, I will make sure that you can find Diane. And if you're local, I will make sure I put information in there about her beautiful breath community in the show notes. You know, and if you guys take even one deeper breath today, then we did our job. That was the whole plan. So thanks for spending your time with me here in the Rebel Tribe. And go be kind to yourself. Go breathe. Go take a big breath. And I will see you here next time.
Thank you. Bye,